Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about how to get connected to IU's Autolab installation. Autolab is the auto grader that we're going to be using to grade your assignments. So it's good for us in that it'll automatically give us some feedback about how you're doing, and it'll also be good for you in that you can see exactly what scores you're going to receive on your assignment at any time. Just by submitting your source code to this website, it'll compile, run it, and spit back out a score for you to see. The unfortunate part is that it can be a little bit involved to set up and get running, so there are some steps that you need to take. We've summarized them here on this Piazza note that we've pinned to the top of the Piazza page. And in this video, we're going to walk through all the steps described in that note to make sure that we're all on track. So the first step is that you have to be connected to an IU network in order to access Autolab. So if you're already on campus and connected to the IU secure network via their Wi-Fi, then you're good to go. But if you're off campus, if you're like at your home desktop or something like that, what you'll need to do is you need to connect to the IU network via a VPN client. IU has some pretty detailed instructions about how to do that. I've posted a link to the instructions within the Piazza post. I'm going to show you how to do it with Linux. So if we click on that link, we should be able to open up here. So here's the 64-bit Linux workstation instructions. Now, if you're working on a Windows or OS X workstation, you'd click this, but they've got instructions for everybody. If I click here, I've already gone through these steps of installing OpenConnect, but I want to show you how we can connect to the VPN. So this is actually super easy. All I have to do is copy this command, open up my terminal, paste this in, and run it. Now, all of this sort of interface is going to be operating system specific. For you, it might not be a terminal. There might actually be like a graphical user interface. It just depends. For me, it happened to be a terminal. But what it's going to ask you for is a username. This is going to be your IU username. It's going to ask you for a password. This is going to be your IU CAS password. And then it's going to ask you for a password number 2. So that password number 2 is going to be your Duo authentication not passphrase, but 6-digit numeric code. So once you grab that, you should be able to put that in and then connect. So you should get something with I'm connected to an IP address that looks somewhat similar to this. So now that we've done that, you should be able to notice that all of your network traffic is now being routed to that IP address. A couple of quick tips. If you have another VPN already configured on your computer, you'll need to disable that and then enable this new VPN. And then additionally, if you have anything sensitive that you don't want to share with the university going over your network traffic, you'll want to disable that before connecting to the IU's VPN. So our next step is going to be going to the Autolab website. I've included a link for that in the Piazza post as well. Once you get there, you should get a screen that looks somewhat like this. You'll have to type in your email and then a password. You should have already configured it earlier in this course. If you haven't already configured your email and password, you can go here and click Forgot Your Password, or if you've forgotten your password, you can click that as well to get a new password sent to your email. A couple of important notes is that you will not be able to see this screen unless you're connected to the IU network. It will just reject your request and you won't see this interface, so make sure that you have that configured first. Second thing is that this email must be at iu.edu, cannot be at indiana.edu, cannot be at umail.iu.edu. It has to be this. This is your username for Autolab. If you don't use that, you won't be able to log in. So then you'll grab whatever password you've configured, and you should log into a page that looks somewhat like this. This is the instructor view, but it looks very similar for the student view. What we see here are the outstanding assignments, so stuff that's open. Today I'm going to be walking through how to submit the P1 assignment because that's going to be a little bit more complicated. So we should come here, and then once we have everything packaged and ready to go, what we'll do is we'll click the submit button and then submit the package. Now, as to what that package looks like, you're going to have to check the Canvas assignment details for every single assignment to know what exactly you're supposed to send to the autograder. In particular, you need to know whether it's going to be a single file or what's called a tar.gz archive. The tar.gz archives, if you're not familiar with that, is just a compressed file that represents a directory on your computer. So if you've got your source folder, what we can do is we can package that all together into one single file that will be unpackaged on the server later. Now that sounds super complicated, but on each assignment page we should have included the command that you need to run in order to package up your code. So if I take a look at the P1 classifier assignment and then come down to this submission section, you'll notice that it says you need to submit the archive to the submit an archive to the autograder. It references the post with the detailed instructions and where this video will be hosted. It also says that you need to create this handin.tar.gz file, and then gives you the command for how to create it. So what you're going to do is you're just going to copy that command, and then you're going to open up a bash shell. If you run Windows, that bash shell is going to be in your git bash program that you installed when you installed git. And if you're on a Linux or Mac machine, you should be good to go just by opening up your native terminal environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, let's see here, open up a new terminal. And then what you're going to want to do is you need to first set your working directory to the root of your project. So I'm going to go to my C343 folder. I'm going to go to my C343 repository folder. So that should be your C343-JC lengths. And then you can see, okay, so here are the different assignments that I've been working on. I'm going to cd into P1, and then we should be able to see here's what your Project 1 structure should look like if you had just downloaded it and unzipped it in place. And at this point, we're able to copy and paste, or I guess not copy, but paste in that command that we provided for you on the Canvas page. And so if you run that command, you should proceed without any errors, and then you'll notice there's this handin.tar.gz file waiting for you. So that's really all there is to creating that file. Now we're going to talk, I guess, but before I talk about how to submit this file, there's one caveat to this process that I want to make sure that you're aware of. And that's when you run the git archive command, it is only going to archive those files that have been committed. So if you have uncommitted changes in your project folder, those changes will not be included in this handin.tar.gz. So you need to make sure that before you submit to the autograder, you commit your changes. That's critically important. If you're ever unsure, you can use whatever facilities your operating system provides to open up this tar.gz file and check to see what's in it. It should include all of the changes that you've made to your source code. And if it doesn't, that means you haven't committed. So that's the quick caveat there. But now once we have that, if I go to the Autolab page right here, first I'm going to affirm that I've complied with the course's academic integrity policy, and I'm going to submit. You'll notice that I'm already here in P1. Here's my handin.tar.gz. So I'm going to just select that, and it should redirect you to this page here. You can see all of your previous submissions. Notice that you can submit as many times as you want. We have no limit on submissions. We're only going to take the grade of your latest submission, your final submission. And it's saying that it submitted that tar.gz file for auto grading. refresh to see the results. So if I refresh here, I can see here are my scores. So you'll notice that I got 10 out of 10 for compilation, but it looks like I only passed about half the unit tests. So this will be kind of what you see. And if I click on this, it should see, okay, here are the tests that I failed. I didn't classify the unknowns properly. My retraining data wasn't correct, and my quick validation test wasn't correct. So that should give you some hint as to what you're missing. Typically, we won't include very verbose comments for those tests that we've already provided for you. But if we ever have some hidden instructor tests that we don't provide, to you via the test suite, but we do include in the test suite and the autograder, we'll try to include some more explanation about where you're going wrong. So that's all there is to it. If you have any questions or follow-up, please put it on the Piazza post dedicated to submitting to Autolab, and we'll try to get on those issues as soon as we can. And I think that's it. So I'll leave you with that. And again, if you've got any questions, this can definitely be complicated at first, so please post a follow-up. I will see you guys later.